A homeowner the benefits, the challenges, the pitfalls, the process. DC started brickwork, applying the brick force at various intervals. Ka.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
So the DPC, just as a recap, it stands for damp proof course
Mm-hmm.
that you then install after you've done your slab. Then you apply blinding when you want to start doing the walls, and then you put the DPC. I just thought maybe let me just explain
Oh,
that
yes,
for others
please.
who don't know what DPC stands for. And so today we're going to be talking about installing the doors, the door frames rather,
Mm-hmm.
not the actual door itself, but the door frames. So before you actually start the installation process, you need to make sure that you have the right door frame.
Okay.
What I mean is there's left and right. So you need to refer to your architectural drawings, that is the builder drawings or your plan, commonly known as the plan, to see the type of door frame that is going to be used, and the left and the right. It's very important. Otherwise, you use the wrong door frame for the wrong area. So you need to make sure that that is flowing together. And then make sure that the door itself also has reinforcements on the sides. We call them the jabs, the jam, but it's spelled JAMBS, but it's a silent B. So you make sure that the reinforcements are there. They're known as lugs. They actually sit on the sides of the door frame to make sure that when you are actually then installing the door, those lugs, they go into the masonry. The masonry bring the wall, the brick wall. So you clear your area, the area that you're working on, so that there's no debris around that. And then you put the door where it's supposed to be going, the door frame that is. And we use props to make sure that it stands upright correctly, so that you make sure that you have a straight door frame. I don't know if you've come across some houses or places where you can actually see that this door frame is not sitting well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit squonk.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have the proper shape. And if you don't make sure that you put props onto that door as you're installing it, that's when you encounter these problems later on, and you cause problems for the carpenter when they come and want to install the actual door, the wooden door, whatever door you're going to be using. Because what will then happen is that they will start shaving the sides of the doors to fit into this frame, and at times you can actually be shocked with how much they will have to shave off, and then it just looks funny. So with building, it's teamwork.
Yeah.
We ought to work together, knowing that someone is going to come after me, and make it easy for someone to take after you after you've done your part. So just to the builders, please be patient when you are erecting the doors, the door frames, because if you don't do it properly, then yeah, there are going to be a lot of problems thereafter. So as you're installing the door, the wooden planks that we use to make sure that it's straight, right?
Yeah.
They're called spreaders. So it's just a wooden plank, but make sure that this wooden plank is cut to size for the opening, and also that it is square. And you put it at the bottom, and then you also put it in the middle where the hinges are on the other side, and then the striker, so that the door is really in shape. And make sure as you're doing it that the plumb level and that the plumb level is correct. Always check with what you call a level, the thing that you use to level the doors, right? So make sure that the plumb level is correct, and also the square, it's square as well. because otherwise, if the plumb level is not correct and it's square, then you also have a funny door frame that is not sitting properly. Also, just to shed a bit of light, when the actual door frame is being transported or when you buy it, it comes with a brace at the bottom. That's just to make sure that it doesn't twist and bend, it stays in the correct shape. But when you actually do the installation, you must then grind it off, you must remove it before you put the actual door. Do not twist it or use anything else to break it off. You need to grind it so that the door stays intact as well.
Okay, so I'm curious to know what's the purpose of having lintels above the door and window openings?
The lintel is the horizontal member that goes on top of the door frame or window frame or any other opening that you have in the house, and it supports the masonry on top of it. So the masonry basically means the wall that will go on top of it, and it also helps to make sure that the openings do not crack. And when you're doing your lintels, you can do them in situ, which means that you can actually erect them on top of your door frame. Right? You can actually build them on through shuttering. You use shuttering and then you pour in your concrete, and it's also reinforced, so you have to use some steel to reinforce the lintels. And also with the lintels, make sure that you've got the correct size as well and correct depth. At times, if you use a lintel that is too thin, it will also start to curve. You know, it's basically it becomes, the wall on top of it will become heavy and it will not be able to support, and it's supposed to be the support between the door frame and the wall. So you have to make sure that if you're doing it, you do it correctly. And nowadays you can actually buy lintels. There are companies who are making them, and they come in different sizes, so you ought to buy the right size. If it's a single wall, it's a 115. If it's a double wall, you buy a 230, but they'll be able to guide you on that.
Okay, so what about the ring beam? Where does it come in?
All right, the ring beam, it's also, you find that even in small houses, right, you can use a ring beam, but some people don't. That's where you can use your lintels for on top of the door frames, on top of your window frames, and also other openings. But if the house, depending on the span of the house, you need to use a ring beam. As the word says, ring, actually right round the whole house. And what it does, it's a support system, a horizontal reinforced member that supports the building, the structure of the house, and also ties it together, ties the building together so that there's no movement, and makes it strong, so that when you put your wall plate, the wall on top, it will remain sturdy and it will not move. I really like the ring beam, using a ring beam, because it just holds everything together, and for me that's the song of construction, really. Using a ring beam. And also for decks, if you're doing a double story, definitely you use ring beams. Some people use ring beams just for decoration. They look nice if they're done properly, but it's very, very important. I'll tell you something. Over the weekend, my brother asked me to come and look at his project. He wants to build a house, but there's an old cottage that someone had started on his land. So he wants to bring it to life, basically, and do it up so that he can live there whilst he's building his main house. So I went to have a look, to be the second eye. I always recommend people to find someone who knows what they're doing, to go and have a look. He's got his own builders. I was just going to look and help. And the builder was there, and he looked at the cottage. They used, the building blocks, those big ones, the cement blocks.
Oh, yes.
But it's been standing there for quite a while, maybe some 7 years or so, and it doesn't have the roof on top, and now the lintels were not done properly, so they are curving in. And he was recommending that he puts a ring beam just to hold that building together and make sure that it is firm. And I thought it was a good idea. It's a small building, it's a cottage, but I really liked his recommendation. So yes, you can use a ring beam for even any type of building that you are constructing.
Thank you so much, Val, for Val the builder. Let me correct myself because Yazin, a woman in construction is something else. I mean, imagine what took pizza only to find that you've got the wrong door size, the door doesn't fit, in disaster 101. So thank you so much, Val, for enlightening us. Val Musoni, she runs a property company for renovations and home improvement. She does interior design, project management, and property development. She studied real estate at the University of Cape Town and project planning and management at the University of Zimbabwe. Thank you so much for coming through, Val.
Thank you.